looking forward to turning the page here this week. Today, getting the guys in and focusing on Cleveland. It's a team that really last three games, with the new quarterback, you can feel their offense picking it up a little bit. He's a dangerous player, and their defense, it's top three defense. I mean, they're really good. Team speed off the charts, and it shows up. We're going to have a challenge here to move the ball and score points on our side. So looking forward to coming back to home. Feels like we haven't played at Soldier in a while, so hopefully we'll get a good home crowd and get that feeling going again. So I'll go ahead and open it up from there.
And with Ozzie this week, knowing the challenge that he'll face with Myles Garrett, what is the key to setting him up for success, both schematically and then preparing him sort of psychologically for the challenge that's there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's every week that he does a great job of just hitting that reset button and coming in and focused on his technique and his fundamentals. And he's a very conscious player. He's very aware of what's going on, who he's going against, where his help is, and he tries to use it that way. So not our first time that we've gone against a dynamic pass rusher. Certainly this guy is, he might be on another level than anybody else in this league right now. But we've gone against Crosby and Hutchinson and Micah now, and so this is the next one, and we'll certainly have a plan and be aware of how we can help, not just Ozzie, but it's also Darnell as well, because the scheme that they run is a little bit different. It's that wide nine where, I mean, these guys are in sprinter mode and they're looking to go right to that launch point at the quarterback and every single snap. And if we happen to hand the ball off, then they'll try to tackle the ball carrier along the way. But I mean, it is their intent to get to the quarterback. That entire defensive line is pretty good.
It's like, what distinguishes him from those other defensive ends or edge rushers that you just mentioned? Like, what are his superpowers?
Yeah, he's just a complete player. I think when you look at the size and strength and speed, it's just a unique package where he really has it all. I mean, he's very strong. He's got that bull rush that can take a tackle and put him on roller skates and walk him right back into the quarterback, which happens quite a bit because every team that you see on tape, I mean, they have a plan for him to slow him down, and yet the chip gets off of him and he just still walks that tackle on back into the quarterback. And so he does a great job with that. And then, heaven forbid you ever leave him one-on-one, and that's really where, he shows up. He's almost unblockable that way in pass protection. So a lot of respect for him. He's done an incredible job. And, just to look at the number of double teams, triple teams that you see on tape, and yet he still has 20 sacks on the season. It's pretty remarkable, and it's a special season for him, no doubt.
And it's been short of kind of the typical platitudes, the take it one day at a time stuff. Was there anything you learned specifically about how to handle a playoff race the last couple of years when you were in Detroit?
Not so much. It's just a matter of maintaining focus, and it's something as a coaching staff that we try to preach to our guys. And I think we got a good group of leaders that they keep the main thing as we've been talking about. And so it helps when the younger players are hearing that constantly, that they do the best that they can to avoid the distractions. I think it's harder now this day and age than ever before. It's so easy to get caught up on what's being said outside of the building, but we just try to keep the focus on how we see it, the truth that we see it, and how we can continue to get better. There's a number of things that we did on Sunday that we need to clean up, and we can, and we know we are better than what we put on tape in a number of areas. And so that's really where we're striving to improve is cleaning that stuff up, and we'll focus on that.
We've heard you tell us that excuse me. Wow, geez, excuse me. We've heard you tell us that 11 wins is kind of what you had circled for entry into the tournament. We've heard players repeat that to us. Is that something that you guys have talked about in meetings? Is there a fine line between, okay, this is what's in front of us versus not talking about it too much, that sort of thing?
We have goals, and we know what's out in front of us. And so it's just that awareness that every game matters. Every game matters. And that's where this week, you go from an emotional rivalry game like we just played. This week is equally important. We need this win. We desperately need this win.
Ben, what attributes have you seen in Shador Sanders, and does he remind you of anyone, either personality-wise or what you see on film?
Um, no, I think he's doing a great job as a rookie. You know, he was able to sit in and soak in that offense over the course of the spring and the summer and early in the season, and you can tell that that's probably benefited him to a degree because now he's able to go out there and let it loose. He does a great job of extending the play and creating on his own as well. So I think Stefanski does a phenomenal job. You know, he's played with not only Shador but also the other rookie quarterback, and I think he does what he can to help those guys develop and find some easy completions to get them in a rhythm and get them going. And they're dangerous players. I mean, they can get hot and make you hurt in a hurry. So last 3 weeks, you kind of feel a little bit of a spark there on offense with Shador out there.
And when you look at what you've accomplished or what you've set up, put in place in your first year, what are some things that you see infrastructure-wise that are long-term, that will last even as you guys inevitably change the roster every offseason?
Well, yeah, I think we just want to establish how we go about our business in the building, our mindset, and I think we've done that. I think as a coaching staff, we've done a really good job of establishing who we want to be and what we want to be about. What the important things are, our identity. You know, in a lot of ways, we have it up in the team room that we want to be a physical unit, we want to be a sound unit, and we want to be a poised unit. And I think this time of year, I see those three elements show up on tape. I really do, and that's something that you can be proud about because you put words up in a room. That's great, but it doesn't bring it to life. You need the people to bring it to life, and so I think we've been able to achieve that here. Um, in December football, I think I see it every single week. We play physical. I think we're sound schematically. I think we're sound fundamentally for the most part. And then, I know we're poised. I know we show up when the pressure's on. So I'm encouraged by that as a starting point.
When you, offensively, was there much of a process to get everything cohesive from you down to the position coaches, or was that pretty much right away where exactly how you want the receivers to be coached on the routes is how it's being coached on the field, et cetera?
Well, I think offensively, the transition was a lot cleaner because JT Barrett and Antoine Randall, I've got extensive experience with. So they kind of knew what to expect when we got in here. And so they were invaluable from the get-go. The rest of the crew, it takes some time. And so that's to be expected. That's it's not something that we're trying to necessarily force faster than what it needs to be, but we are in a race and it's an urgency to make sure we're all on the same page. I think we've grown as a staff. They know what to expect now at this point. Our process early in the week in terms of putting the game plan together is efficient, and yet it can still get taken to another level, and we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll address that in the off season on how we can get better, and but that's not for now. We got plenty of time to worry about that down the road. So, but yeah, I think the staff's done a great job taking the vision and running with it, and they help fill in the voids wherever there are some. So that was part of the point of having such an experienced coaching staff to start with as well.
Ben, as a play caller, what makes Jim's pass defense so good, and what are the teaching points against it?
Yeah, I think he does a good job making everything look the same. Coverage wise on the back end, it's hard to get a tell there on pre-snap, and it's not necessarily the most complicated that we'll see all year, and yet what they do at a really high level. Kind of already talked about it. It starts with the front four for them and how they get off the ball. It's unique. It's a hard thing to practice and simulate. And I think for a lot of teams that don't see it very often, it's a little bit of a shock early in games, just how quickly those guys can get off the ball. And so, they do a really good job with it. They've got some horses up there, and then the linebackers are really fast. This rookie Schlesinger, I mean, he's a really good player. He's going to be a good player for a long time as well. He's all over the place, highly instinctive. It reminds me. I was with Luke Kuechly at Boston College. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Kuechly. Just watching him on tape, you can't fool him. He's got good eyes, and he's super fast. And so when you combine that with some talented players on the back end that they combine man coverage with zone, and then they'll mix in the pressures on base downs as well. I'm just now getting into the third down right now. But I mean, he does a phenomenal job. I think he's done it at a high level for a number of years now.
And at what point?
To be determined. I haven't heard over the last couple days just the extent of it, but you know, coming out of that one, it didn't look very good.
And at what point this season, like in season, did you notice the coaching or your teaching really start to click with Caleb?
He's been receptive from the get-go. It's just been a matter of reps. I think Declan and I have talked about that up here. He just needs 1 million reps right now, and you know, we've probably gotten about 10,000. We're going to need another 100,000. You know, and we're working on it, and he's doing a great job taking it. There's some things that he's hearing for the first time, even after the game the other day. You know, I'm like, hey, next time we get this, we need to think, and so that's part of it. And he's banking those reps. I think he does a good job with that library that we keep talking about, where he's going to be able to go back and reference those coaching points, and he'll be better for it in the long run. So, you know, we're working every single day. I feel so strongly about the process that we have in place with him right now that I know the gains are going to come.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.